Hi everyone, and welcome to the Lotus Spark, a podcast where we amplify the voices of incredible women, their stories, their experiences, and really help to amplify the voices of those who may not be heard all the time. Today, we have a very special guest by the name of Minh Cao, who will be sharing her journey around what it's like to navigate one country from Vietnam all the way to her journey to Australia. My name is Alyna Pham, and I cannot wait for you to meet this very incredible, admirable woman. She's an inspiration to me, a G to say the least, and she has really led the way in building a community called Global Viet Woman, which we can't wait to speak about. So, I have here with me Minh Cao, an incredibly beautiful soul who not only has been a sister to me in the last year and a bit since we started becoming a lot closer, but you are a proud Vietnamese woman, to say the least, a mother, a co-founder of Global Viet Woman, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. But to be honest, I think you have such a beautiful holding of the space in Vietnam, where you're from, but also your journey to Australia, which we'll be talking about a little bit. So thank you for being with me here today.
Thanks, Alyna, and thanks for inviting me to this amazing podcast series with I4S. Such a pleasure just to be here, but I won't say I'm an incredible woman, just a normal Vietnamese woman, but very proud of our background.
Very humble, very Vietnamese.
Yeah, but it's being Vietnamese is something that I'm always proud of. It is run in the blood. You can see, and everywhere we go, oh, you're Viet. Yes, it is like just the nature, the foundations of me and who we are growing up in Vietnam, that upbringing from mother, father, the friends, the school that I went to. It is very deeply rooted in me.
Yeah, so much to share. Before we jump into all that good stuff, I wanted to just do something really light and ask you something that's made you smile in the last week. I know it's Friday today, but let's go back to 7 days ago even. What's made you smile?
Oh, actually, I was in Vietnam last week, and that was very coincidentally big smile when I think about my trip. And took my husband, his first time that he could actually travel on a holiday back to Vietnam.
So too hard?
Yes, it was too hard. We worked so hard, so busy, always there just for work. So first time that he could actually been to Vietnam as a tourist. So took him around Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, Da Nang, Hoi An, and Phu Quoc. It was amazing. So. Yeah, big smile thinking of that. Yeah. But during the week, it's been on and off. And what kept me sort of like grounded every day is the family and my little daughter. She's 11, and she put a big smile on me this morning. And she said, "Mum, you look beautiful." When you go into the thing, it's because I normally don't dress like this.
Yeah, you're always working on the go as a mum as well. It's always convenience, right? That's beautiful. And it sounds like you were able to go to all the main touristy areas now as a holiday, because I know you travel a lot. Your husband travels a lot, but you guys are always working. So I think that's really instilled in the Vietnamese
It was
blood.
amazing. It was very important for us to actually to be together and also to actually show Jason what Vietnam is and how beautiful it is and how beautiful the country, the people, not just through our family, but like through an extended view and angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just very lucky to have that time.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I think what a lot of people have previously thought about Vietnam is that we're a developing nation and maybe there are lots of pockets that are still poor, and then people might think, oh, is it safe to go there? What else is there? So I think the more that we expose others to Vietnam, a beautiful country, the more that people can see a different side to it too.
Totally agree.
So I'd like to jump back a little bit now to your childhood, because I know you weren't always in Melbourne, G. You came here through work with Austrade.
Yep.
So if I was to go back all the way to your childhood, where were you born in Vietnam, and what was your fondest memory of your time in there?
Interesting question. So 100% born and raised in Ho Chi Minh, but my parents are actually from the north. So one from Hanoi and one from Thanh Hoa.
Controversial.
Yes, quite controversial. So it's a mix. They came to Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City after the war, and they were in the army. And after that, things changed. So they just settled down in Ho Chi Minh. They met in Nha Trang, actually. So there's a long story behind that too. But I was born, raised in Ho Chi Minh, so always proud as a Saigon girl.
Yeah.
But with the touch of Hanoi as the hometown. So came to Australia as international student, but did my whole life study through primary, high school and university in Vietnam. I would say I love Saigon the most, but I also enjoy my time when I was sent to Hanoi because most of my relatives are there. So Mum and Dad would send me there every summer or Tet just to go there and spend time with the auntie, uncle and the cousin. So it's always bring back fond memory, and I miss my grandma who's passed away. From my dad's side, she's just an amazing woman, fluently in French because she's that French influenced generation.
Yeah.
And be amazed by her bookshelf with all the French book, and she would give me some money to go and eat some chair in Hanoi. Just that nice sweetest memory, and just going. And the last time that I took my husband there, I showed him the old house with the alley where I used to just be there and hang out.
This was on the previous trip?
Yeah, on the previous trip. It's just, and it stayed the same. So Hanoi is like that. Some of the places are new and modern, but the old quarter, very lucky, my family actually stay in the old quarter. Yeah. So the house still there, the alley's still there. Things hasn't changed.
That's so beautiful.
Since, I don't know, like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because with the south and the north, it sounds like you've gotten a taste, and then your parents met in the middle of Vietnam almost in Nha Trang.
Like a miracle almost.
Yeah. But I love what you touched about your grandma. You said that, you're Bà Nội, right?
Yeah, Bà Nội.
You said that you have quite a lot that you admire about her, and that she's probably instilled a lot of values that you are keeping, and I'm hoping and I'm thinking that you would want to share it with your daughter Claire as well.
Yeah.
What was it about your Bà Nội that you feel like has stuck with you the most?
She's just very graceful. Like, she's just beauty. Like, it's a graceful beauty that I could always admire. Very smart, but just gentle, and would teach you. She would never lecture you, but she would give you some very small tips and some sentences that she would tell you, like, you should read books. Books is your life. Books is the key to things.
And she had a whole wall of them.
Yes, in education. So she's, I think, I don't have because she passed away quite early due to Parkinson. So, and at the end of her life, her memories deteriorated. So it's really sad. But yeah, I miss her a lot. And for me, I think in the family, I look a lot like her as well. So everyone was saying, yeah, I'm like the one that actually looked the most like Bà Nội. So always whenever we talk about her, it's almost bring tears to my eyes. But, I admire her. She's strong, but very graceful, and always giving when she can.
Thank you for sharing that, G, because as soon as you started speaking about your Bà Nội, and you said she's so graceful and soft in her approach, and she doesn't tell you what to do, but she leads by example. I was literally saying that is how I think of you when I see you, to be honest. You're not someone that's the loudest, and you're not someone that's the pushiest. You're not someone that is a type of leader where you are, this is what I'm going to tell you to do, and you do it. And I think that's one of the most admirable things about you, and I can see why so many people admire and respect what you have to say and what you have to do without having to have a microphone to shout it. So yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, and thank you for sharing about your Bà Nội as well, because recently also had the passing of my grandpa from Parkinson's. He had Parkinson's as well, and so he was shivering quite a lot and losing his memory. Like it became like a child again.
Yeah.
Which was hard to watch, but also I love that you said there's still so many parts of her that live on through you. And one of the things that I feel the most proud of is that I'm still going to live through so many parts of what my grandpa passed on to me, because I feel really lucky that he came to Australia and I've been living with him since I was born.
That's very lucky.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky.
And that's what I focus on as well. And you mentioned a bit around what your Banoi has passed on to you. I would like to actually know now, what would you like to pass on to Claire, your daughter, knowing what you know now?
That's a very big question, and I think that's mainly, that's not the best way to answer it. There's so many things I want to pass on to her, but I think the most important thing is that Viet heritage. I don't want that to lose in the next 20 years. And although you say that I'm not the loudest, but I'm the loudest at home, I often can raise my voice and say, Claire, can you do your Vietnamese lesson? So Claire's my daughter, and that's what I really want her to keep. Pass it on is big. It's the family tradition. It's the thing that we do, the thing that we treasure, is that Viet power that we have in us, the resilience, the discipline that we have, the humility that we have as well. That's a lot to say in just a few words, but being a Vietnamese person, we don't represent like the whole beauty of our culture, but it needs to last. It needs to go on generation after generations, and if we don't do anything now, in the future with all these, living overseas, whether in Australia, America, or Europe, if you don't preserve, you don't have the intention to actually work on it. Later on, it would just erode, and we won't see Vietnam. The future can be very different. So that's really important. Is want to pass that on to Claire so that she can have that passion, have that bright in her, and grow up knowing that she's a fully Vietnamese. With that attitude in mind, to go further and beyond in her life.
So much to unpack there, G, because I remember so vividly one of the conversations that I had with you early on. It was around this topic of the preservation of our culture and why that's so important. And I love that you're instilling this in Claire at such a young age. And one of the key things I wanted to ask you about as well is, for someone that has had so much experience living a lot of their formative years in Vietnam and now living in Australia, you've had the experience of straddling, almost like two identities, which is basically what Claire is going to do. And that's what I did as well. And I think one of the things that I realised became a blessing was that I was forced to go to Vietnamese school by my dad, because my dad is like a tiger dad, and I had to do it from prep to year 12. But I had no idea that this would be I would say like a superpower.
Your advantage.
Even though I had to spend my Saturday mornings not watching TV but going to Vietnamese school. And I never thanked my dad until my older years. So I really believe what you're doing now is so incredibly important. And that kind of ties up to why, you started building Global Viet Woman as an idea or a seed. And I know that Claire has a lot to do with the inspiration behind it all. But why do you find that it's so important for you in particular? Because I know there's so many Vietnamese women. I'm one of them. I have plenty of friends, and there are Vietnamese women globally. Some born in Vietnam, some not born in Vietnam. But why is it so important for you to preserve the culture of Vietnam now through the work that you are doing?
Another great questions, and I want to touch on that early on when you asked me about Claire and what I want to pass on. And this is, I think, Global Viet Woman started from that simple need that to preserve the Vietnamese culture, to actually create a community where you can actually help Vietnamese women around the world. And you say that we all now integrate into the world. We're actually stepping out of Vietnam, living overseas. But I still haven't seen that connection just yet. We're still in silo here and there.
Yeah.
We do have some community in each of the country, and some of them are very robust, vibrant. Like in Australia, I think Australia and America is the biggest one.
Definitely.
But to be able to actually see more connection, it's stemmed from, I think, mostly my child as well. She always say, how do you actually connect more with people from, from other countries?
Can I just say that your 11-year-old daughter,
She
to ask
is.
those questions is just so wise at that age.
She acts like a 24, and she tells me so all the time. I think that's given me a lot of, spark as well.
Yeah.
And thinking maybe I can do something, and maybe I can try to create a platform now. If it's not now, it will be never.
Yeah.
Like, right now I'm in my early 40s. It's kind of late. I wish I could have more power, more energy or time to actually start something earlier.
We all say that, right?
Yeah, but I think it's never too late.
Yes.
So, if you can start something, just do it. And I think that's all sparked from that one simple need.
Yeah.
To have a community that can support us wherever we are as Vietnamese women, and that you can reach out to that network. You can share, you can actually contribute and help others to grow.
Yeah. I'm going to touch on Global Viet Woman a little bit more. And firstly, I wanted to say a huge congratulations, because it did launch officially this year on International Women's Day. And I feel so proud to be able to work alongside you as well on a project that's so closely aligns with my values. And I wanted you to also touch briefly on the values around Global Viet Woman, but I wanted to know a little bit more and for you to share with the audience. When did that seed start growing? Because I know you said Claire asked you the questions. Was this like a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago? Or I don't know when she asked the question, because she is 11 to be asking those questions. And then from that, what were some of the, I guess, challenges that came up along the way? And then for you to meet the right people, because the people who are part of this organisation is one of the main reasons why I feel so proud to say that I'm a part of Global Viet Woman. And there is so much that I think you can do together. And so for you to have an idea in your 40s or whenever it is, some other people come along and help you to water that seed. It's not just you, right? And I think that's the beautiful thing about sharing and then coming together as a team and building for it to be a lasting legacy whenever it gets passed on to the next generation, hopefully Claire. So tell us a little bit about that seed and the journey to get to where it is today.
Yep, no, happy to. So it's probably Claire is the one that asked the question verbally, but it's also stemmed from myself as well. Like, there's something I wanted to do, and through all the projects that I work in trade and investment, I met a lot of people, and every time I went outside, I talked to someone, I see their problems, and I find that problem in me as well. That's always been a challenge.
What were some of the problems? Because you mentioned you feel a bit siloed.
Yes,
right?
exactly, silo. You feel like you struggle, you don't know where to get the support. You're struggling with your identity, how to fit in when you're actually living overseas.
Yeah.
Or when you're actually coming back to Vietnam from living overseas for too long. You also face the reverse culture shock.
Yeah.
How do you actually fit in? Where do you start? Who do you talk to? What information, or is there a network that you can actually share your information or share your challenges? Some other basic things like family. How do you actually get some help when you're actually so stressed and exhausted?
Yeah.
Especially when you're a woman. If you don't have a good friend network, you can be super lonely.
Yeah.
And you'll be chasing your thoughts on your own. And I have seen that from all the work, and you've talked to people, people around you in the project that I did. That's all been cooking, bubbling along. And then one day, probably 2 years ago, when Claire did ask, Mum, can I do a pen pal? Because I do feel like I want to write to someone, but said, write to me. And she said, you never read my letter because you're so busy.
How did you feel when she said that?
It shattered my heart. But then I try. So I do think that there's a lot that we can do. And keep talking to multiple friends. And there we go. We've got the co-founders, who's Becky, Anna and Dang, who has always been on my side, working alongside with me on so many projects, and it's just very fortunate to actually be able to meet them a few years ago through some other work that we have done, volunteer work, and that just brought us together. But when we talk and share our ideas, everyone sort of loved this idea and have the same passion. And I can see that, yes, this is going to work if we work together. And we're all Vietnamese women. We all love where we come from. We're all very proud and all very hardworking. So that's the whole story from where it's seeded. And it's not very clear, or it's not like a plan. We don't have a business plan at all. It sounds like we just talk, but in action, there's a lot of work that the team had put together last year to be able to get to the point where we launched it on the 8th of March this year. So again, want to say thank you, if they're listening, to my co-founders, that they have done incredible amount of work to take us to where we're here today.
Don't worry, Becky, Anna and Jidang will all be listening because they'll be so proud to hear you speak about a project that obviously all four of you are so passionate about, and to share your passion, you've been able to bring other people along the project, men and women, Vietnamese and those who are our supporters, because it's not just about being siloed, like you mentioned, right? And it's not just about you having an idea and everyone comes around and just supports you. We're all chipping in our own parts, either that be a community partner, even those who are helping to share the mission. I think it's so, so beautiful.
Yes, and the most important thing is the authenticity that we have. I think we found in all our co-founders or the team, the volunteer team, including everyone is really passionate in and doing it not for themselves. They all do it because they actually find it really, I think, just resonate and connect. And they believe in the mission. They believe that this is something that could help to actually give out a hands of support to the people, to the women that's in need. So that's authenticity, that love, that passion behind the organisation is the most important thing that I think set us apart from others.
100%. I couldn't agree more. When I look at the whole team, everyone is so busy. Can I just say? Like, you're constantly travelling for work, you're a mother, everyone's running their own businesses, or they're working in really highly involved roles. And I think this goes back to, you don't tell people what to do, but you role model. And I think that's one of the best ways that leaders can really lead by example. Because when I watch you all work, I can't imagine myself giving excuses of, I can't do that, or being afraid of saying, hey, I need support as well. I think what I really see exemplified in the team is that everyone is doing it because of heart. And when you said we don't even have a business plan, it's like, it's because this is not a business to say. It needs to be sustainable, and we're wanting to build it in a way where it's going to last beyond having everyone there all the time. But the beautiful thing is that everyone is there because they want to make a difference, and there's an alignment of value. And you could say, everyone could have said no, but they wanted to make time for it. So I think that's what it means. Very similar to what you said before, coming to a country where you might not have friends or family around you to support, either through conversations or raising a child. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but these days there is no village. And I think in Vietnam, I haven't lived there, but I would assume there was a village and a whole community to lean on. But now it does feel a little bit more lonely at times. And so what's the main Global Viet Woman I would say, value that you really see being the biggest value to Vietnamese women in Melbourne, Australia, Vietnam, and worldwide, that would really help some of the challenges that you've been able to identify?
I think, again, back to that community sense. And like you said, no one can be successful on their own. They may, but it takes longer. So I think if you have a community to actually, you can lean on when you have problems or find information quicker. This is the value that I hope that as an organisation, Global Viet Woman can actually bring to the women out there, especially if you are already living overseas or wanting to be living overseas or going abroad to study. We're there to really provide some support through building your capability.
The 3 pillars, right?
Yeah, the 3 pillars that we have, the 3C that we always talk about, the capabilities, expanding opportunity for commercial opportunity, and the last one is to continue on to build on that cultural value that we have as Vietnamese women. So I think that would be the biggest value. It's just back to that community sense that we are trying to work on and build up for Global Viet Women.
It's that sense of belonging.
Yeah, the sense of belonging, exactly.
Yeah.
And supporting each other to grow because I would say there's so many things, especially social media these days, things can go a bit sour.
Very quickly.
If you share something on that social media, it's like if you have a struggle in your life, there could be some comment that's just so negative and that could work really against you. And what we want to see is to build a really meaningful community that actually can provide support, not to throw at each other, not through actually trying to bring us down, but actually trying to help us sustain, help us grow and go in the right direction as we should be. As the value that we really rare to find in this world where there's so much information, so much going on.
And there's a lot of filters on everything, so it's really hard to understand not only places where you can share your challenges, I think that's amazing, but also those who genuinely want to support and cheer you on when you are winning or when you have something to celebrate as well. I think that's sometimes even harder to find those who genuinely want to see you do well. And I think what I really saw in our in-person launch night back in Melbourne a couple of months ago was the resounding feedback where women and men, like our allies, didn't want to leave after the event ended. And everyone just said, we've been wanting a space like this where we can come together and there's a shared sense of something that is relatable. And it doesn't have to be that we're all fluent in Vietnamese or whatever it is, but there's just like an innate feeling of, there's a warmth and there's an understanding there, and it goes back to our generational roots. It goes all the way back to Vietnam. I mean, I might not have been born in Vietnam, but I find that when you have other parts of yourself through your parents, your great-grandparents, and there's a little bit more of an understanding, it allows you to also feel like proud of yourself. And for those who are Vietnamese and haven't been back to Vietnam or they're in a country that's not Vietnam, that grappling of your identity because you don't look the same as how you might speak or how your parents might be speaking, that can be such a challenge. And I think that's why it's so important to hear stories like yourself and to hear so many different stories. Like Vietnamese women are multi-layered, multicoloured, multifaceted, multi-talented with multiple problems too, and the problems are often similar and the wins are often similar. So we want to find places where, once again, there's a sense of belonging. So I so admire that you had this idea and you spoke about it, and now it is in its first couple of months and it's already had so much traction, and I can't wait to see where it will go. But to wrap things up for this afternoon, what is the goal or the dream that you have for Global Viet Woman, say in 20 years' time, when you're almost retiring, and Claire's going to be in her 30s, you know, my age. And what's that, if you were to really have Global Viet Woman be that community that you think will exemplify what Vietnamese women and beyond need, what would that look like?
Wow, this is like a homework question for me. We haven't thought that far, to be honest with you, Em. I think our goal at the moment is continue to grow this community. And I did put that question, what happened in the next 20 years when my Claire's growing up in her 30, what is she going to be doing? And how is she going to cope with all the uncertainties, all the changes around the world? I don't know what it's going to be looking like yet for Global Viet Women. I hope it can still be sustained, and it's just honestly to be sharing here with you. But I think hopefully throughout that journey we have been able to provide some help, like for people who are in need. My goal from the very beginning is perhaps we could be able to found some foundation to actually help kids, especially young girls in Vietnam, get access to education, get access to a better living condition where we could. So I hopefully by that time, and I always teased to my husband that when I get old, I will move to a village in Vietnam and teach English and help the kids around there to actually learn a little bit of English where I could. So yeah, hopefully in 20 years' time, we have established ourselves. People know who we are. We've got a strong communities around the world, especially in the region that we haven't set ourselves strong, such as Europe and in Americas as well. But yeah, and then can have that foundation to actually give back in a more tangible way. Right now we're doing a lot of things intangible to keep the values and provide support. But yeah, later on, hopefully we can build on a more tangible foundation to keep it going and maintain that Vietnamese culture, and everyone can talk about Global Viet Women as an initiative to start from a very simple idea, but actually can provide hands-on, like really practical support later on.
Well, from small things, big things grow, and this is only the beginning. And a part of you sharing this is in hopes that, you know, if it resonates with anyone, they can share the value, share the community, jump onto LinkedIn, Instagram, and all the social platforms as well. And I believe there is free membership until the end of the year for people to join and be a part of the community as well. So there's so much there that we can unpack. But lastly, you've had 4 decades of lots of life experience, okay? And we've got a lot of listeners from all around the world being able to access this. So what is one message that you want to share to the Vietnamese women and women of colour out there from your journey so far?
Good question. So I would say just don't wait to be ready, and don't ever think that you're not enough. That's my advice. I think just do it when you can. Don't you think, you plan, but don't overthink. Worry a little bit less and just keep moving, keep trying. Don't give up. But yeah, just don't take it on, everything on you either. So it's gracefully determined. That's what I probably put in a word.
Gracefully determined?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I haven't heard that from someone yet. So,
yeah, so maybe that could be something. But determined to go, don't give up. But yeah, just act, just do it when you can. Because if you don't, you'll never get anywhere. But if you take on way too much, you losing the connection with others, and you will lose all the important moments you never get back in life. So that's something that I think very important for all of us.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. It really resonates with me in particular right now. So I hope that all the listeners will remember gracefully determined, because I think you embody that so, so well. And, you know, through the last 30 or so minutes of you sharing, I can't help but feel that the leadership that you show through your motherhood, through, you know, your work with Austrade, and then also just the way that you show up in everything that you show up, it is always very graceful. And determination is you don't give up. But yes, don't take on everything because it will just weigh you down, right? And you can't do much else. But G, thank you so much for taking the time to come in today amongst your really busy schedule. I know you have to pick up your daughter. And so these are some of the things that as a village, we would hope that we'll be able to share. So I so appreciate, and I know that the audience and the listeners also appreciate you sharing your wisdom and Global Viet Woman and how we can really support and be a part of the community and to understand what the work is. And yes, we may not have a plan for 20, 30 years, but no one really knows what's going to happen in 20, 30 years with the way the world is moving. So thank you for sharing so wholeheartedly, so genuinely and so warmly. And we can't wait to follow Global Viet Woman's work and your work as well on LinkedIn. I know you're not on socials all the time because you're busy, but if anyone wants to follow you, it'll just be Minh Cao on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yep. Thank you very much, Em. Thanks for the lovely chat. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.